Hello and welcome to our Sunday evening's edition of Arirang News. I'm Daniel Che here to provide you with the latest. President Park Geun-hye will hold her weekly cabinet meeting on Monday, a day earlier than usual. The meeting has been bumped up from its regular slot by a government Q&A session set for Tuesday. Part of the subjects to be discussed on Monday will be finalizing the list of officials to face the media and the public in the Q&A, as it's the first such event for the 20th National Assembly. During the cabinet meeting, the focus will be on the economic measures necessary to reduce the potential impact of Brexit. She will continue to emphasize the importance of reform efforts as well. Security will be another key topic. The president is expected to receive updates from the nation's counter-terrorism body following the horrific terror attacks in Istanbul and Bangladesh. Turning to changes brewing at the National Assembly now, stricter regulations when it comes to hiring aides. This comes after the Minju Party discovered one of its lawmakers, Seo Young-gyo, hired her daughter as an intern and her brother as an aide. The Assembly's Secretary General Woo Yoon-gun said on Sunday that new regulations on the hiring process will be formulated by late July. That will require about 2 weeks of meetings and extensive research on related cases. Currently, there are insufficient rules on the consequences of such acts, indicating how nepotism was overlooked in the past. Lawmakers will need time to iron out details on the punishment for such misdemeanors, as well as how far out among relatives or close friends to set the rules when it comes to hiring interns or aides. North Korea is marking a new official observance of the founding of its strategic rocket force. The South Korean military is on high alert for possible provocations linked to the occasion. Kim Hyun-bin has more on the regime's latest means of stoking tension.
South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff on Sunday said that Pyongyang could stage some sort of provocations to mark the designated founding day of a strategic rocket force, which also comes a day before U.S. Independence Day on the 4th of July. During the Supreme People's Assembly last month, Pyongyang designated July 3rd as Strategic Rocket Force Day. Marking its first observance on Sunday, Pyongyang threatened to turn the U.S. into a sea of fire if Washington threatens its independence. The JCS say there are currently no signs of imminent provocations, but are maintaining a high state of readiness. The regime has a history of launching provocations during the U.S. Independence Day holiday. On July 4, 2006, North Korea launched the Taepodong-2 long-range missile, and in 2009, it fired 2 intermediate-range Rodong missiles. South Korean military says North Korea could conduct another Musdan, Rodong, or Scud missile launch this time, in a sign of the regime's defiance of Washington and the international community. Seoul says there's also a possibility North Korea could conduct provocations along the northern limit line, as they have detected military movements in the region. Recently, Pyongyang deployed dozens of troops on previously deserted islands, as well as several multiple rocket launchers and surveillance equipment. Kim Hyun-bin, Arirang News.
Officials in Bangladesh say the 20 hostages killed during Saturday's terror attack were mostly foreigners and publicly disclosed the nationalities of the victims. Meanwhile, ISIS, which claimed responsibility for the attack in Dhaka, has carried out another bombing in Baghdad. Hwang Ho-jun gives us the updates.
13 hostages were rescued when security forces stormed the Holly Artisan Bakery Cafe in Dhaka early Saturday morning after a 12-hour standoff. But 20 more hostages were found dead. Local authorities have released the nationalities of the victims: 9 Italians, 7 Japanese, 1 Indian, 2 Bangladeshis, and 1 U.S. citizen of Bangladeshi descent. Most of them were hacked to death with a machete. 2 policemen were also killed during the shootout. Of the attackers, all Bangladeshis, 6 were shot dead and 1 captured alive. The attack began Friday evening when the attackers stormed the bakery cafe with guns, sharp weapons, and explosives. Local media reported that the attackers tortured captives who were unable to recite the Quran. ISIS claimed responsibility for the attack through its media branch Amaq. It also posted photos of the dead hostages and the interior of the cafe. Experts say the ISIS attackers may have chosen the Holly Artisan Bakery for maximum global impact, as it has been a popular meeting place for expats and diplomats. Meanwhile, less than 24 hours after the Dhaka massacre, ISIS claimed another deadly attack, this time in Baghdad. The latest reports from CNN say at least 80 people were killed and 61 wounded in bombings on 2 crowded districts in the central and eastern parts of the city. ISIS used Twitter to claim responsibility for the first attack, which it said targeted Shiite neighborhoods. No official claim of responsibility has been made for the second bombing. Hwang Ho-jun, Arirang News.
China is scheduled to hold naval drills this week around the disputed Paracels Islands in the South China Sea. According to Beijing's Maritime Safety Administration, the drill will be held from July 5th through the 11th. All of the ships unrelated to the exercise will be banned from entering the area during that time. While the Paracels are also claimed by Vietnam and Taiwan, China says it's within Beijing's rights to hold the drills as the islands have been Chinese territory since ancient times. Tensions in the region are on the rise ahead of a court ruling on July 12th in The Hague concerning waters disputed by China and the Philippines. Turning to U.S. politics, the Democratic Party's likely presidential nominee Hillary Clinton met with the FBI on Saturday local time. Subject of discussion, her email used while serving as the Secretary of State. According to her campaign spokesperson, the 3.5-hour interview was voluntary. Clinton has been under investigation for allegedly mishandling classified and top-secret information while using a private email server, which for some voters has cast shadows on her trustworthiness. The U.S. Justice Department will have to determine whether Hillary's use of a private server constituted a crime, but there is no strict timeline on how long that will take. There are 3 weeks left until the Democratic Party convention, where Clinton is expected to be formally nominated as the party's presidential candidate in the race for the White House. Major Korean banks saw a sharp rise in their home-backed loans last month following a drop in borrowing costs and a booming housing market. As of the end of June, the amount of outstanding mortgage loans extended by 5 commercial banks, Kookmin, Shinhan, Uri, KEB Hana, and Nonghyub, reached 364.15 trillion won. That's around $317 billion, a spike of around $4 billion from a month earlier. It marked the fastest month-on-month gain so far this year. The sharp increase was attributed to a strong local housing market, as well as interest rates that have been strategically kept at record low levels since June last year to help bolster growth in Asia's 4th largest economy. Last month, the Bank of Korea cut its key interest rate down to 1.25% from a previous record low of 1.5%. When you're on the move, looking straight ahead and checking your smartphone could be the difference between life and death. According to the latest findings by a team from the Korea Expressway Corporation and the Korea Transport Institute, pedestrians multitasking with their devices had slower reaction speeds. Those free of such distractions had a clear head start when the pedestrian signs changed. Also, phone walkers were found to move at a speed of 1.31 meters per second, 0.08 seconds slower than those with their eyes set straight. Peripheral vision is narrowed as well, with just 35% of the former group able to watch out for vehicles approaching from the side, compared with more than 50% of the latter group. The results were formulated based on data collected from surveillance footage of some 8,300 pedestrians at crossings in 10 busy streets in Seoul, including Gwanghwamun and Gangnam. Welcome news for teenagers and some grown-ups looking to quickly get rid of pesky acne. A team of Korean researchers found a substance in eggplants that can help prevent or cure pimples without the side effects of the existing treatments. Kim Bo-gyun introduces us to lupiol.
In the past, treatments for pimples mostly relied on antibiotics and retinoids, which are a class of chemical compounds that are known for their ability to regulate cell proliferation. However, their usage has some limitations as patients can develop a resistance to antibiotics and retinoids can cause painful skin irritations. Recently, a team of researchers from Korea's Seoul National University Hospital announced an interesting discovery. An effective pimple-curing substance called lupiol can be extracted from eggplants.
Lupiol is proved to be effective in controlling many factors that cause pimples, such as reducing the secretion of sebum and bacteria. It can be useful in both preventing and curing pimples.
Lupiol can be easily absorbed into the skin and is effective in treating damaged skin cells. Unlike many pimple and acne treatments currently available on the market, it is known to have no unwanted side effects when applied to the skin. The team said that they are still in the clinical stages of developing a new acne treatment, but they are certain that the new discovery will be helpful for people suffering from pimples. Kim Mo-kyun, Arirang News.
The weather before we go, hope you enjoyed dry land over the weekend. If you're in Korea, it's going to be pouring down nationwide, coupled with strong winds on Monday. Seoul, Busan, and Gwangju will all start the day at 22 degrees Celsius. Slight rise in the mercury to 25 in the capital and the southern port city, 27 in Gwangju. And now let's check out the weather conditions in your neck of the woods and around the world. We've come to the end of this hour's newscast. More updates coming your way at 10 p.m. Korea time, so do join us then. For now, thank you for watching.